Do you have a book that affected your life or gave a lesson to you? Every people feel different, even if they read the same book. Some people feel nothing, and some people might say the book changed their life. Depending on what situation you read the book, or what experience you have, may change the feelings you get after reading a book. I really like the book Perfume by Patrick Schiskind. Everyone asks me why I like this book. Unlike other ordinary readers, I read this book with a quite different point of view. After reading this book over and over again, I found that this book isn't just for fun, but in fact, there are many underlying meaningful lessons. So right now, I want to tell you why I became to love this book and what I have found in this book. The reason why I became a fan of this book is because of the main character, Jean-Baptiste Grenouille. Grenouille was abandoned by his mother as soon as he was born. He was alone all the time since then. He was sent to the orphanage, and he spent a very lonely childhood there. He was somewhat different from others. He had an extraordinary sense of smell. Because of his difference, he always got disregarded and threatened by his friends. He was all alone, and there was no one to listen to his words. And suddenly solitude fell across his heart like a dusty reflection. He closed his eyes. The dark doors within him opened, and he entered. The next performance in the theater of Grenouille's soul was beginning. As we can catch from these lines, his loneliness until now was just before the beginning. We can foresee that there is a great solitude waiting for him. When he became 13 years old, he was sold to the tannery. At there, he was beaten by the owner and worked for 15 hours a day. But he endured it. Even though there are not many lines that expresses his feelings in this book, I imagined how lonely and tough it would have been for him. One day the opportunity came to him. He met a perfumer, Bardini, and he showed his talent. He became to work as Bardini's apprentice and developed his ability and searched for his dream. Then he found his dream to make a perfect perfume. He moves once again to Grana with his dream. But in Grana, Grenouille is again treated badly. Wherever he went, there was no one who paid attention to him. He succeeded in being considered totally uninteresting. People left him alone, and that was all he wanted. In these lines, it is said that he wanted to be an interesting subject, but I believe he didn't want it to be like that from the beginning. Everyone wants to get warm and sincere love and care from others. Maybe after all the hurt and loneliness that he got from people, he wanted to become no one. Well, I felt empathy in this part. Since I also had a time when I wanted to be uninteresting like him and live quiet as possible like no one. When I look back at the moment, I realized that it was the moment which I needed other people's attention the most. He just focused on his dream and ran towards it. He put all his passion to achieve his dream. His passion was big as it led him to commit a murder. But at last, he succeeds in attaining his dream. Not a visible enthusiasm, but a hidden one, an excitement burning with a cold flame. This book gave me a hopeful message. when I was lost in my life, and I will tell you how I became affected by this book. I spent my whole childhood similar to Grenouille's as a stranger and foreigner. I went to United States, New Jersey when I became second grade in elementary school. I only knew alphabets up to D, and it was really, really tough for me to adjust to a new environment as a young kid. It seemed impossible to assimilate myself into a group who looked different, used different language, and had a different culture and mind. My classmates treated me as an alien, and obviously, they didn't say a word to me who couldn't speak their language. I went to America with my family, but I was really lonely. I remember crying towards my parents that I want to go back to Korea, my home. But unchanging fact was that I had to go to the school the next day. After 3 years, I could return to Korea. I was so excited to go back to my homeland, but it was different from what I expected. I was really quiet and timid child, so it was very hard for me to adapt myself into new environment again. Also, surprisingly, after all the 3 years of my effort to adjust to American society, I realized that I couldn't speak Korean that much fluently, and I was greatly influenced by American culture. I was once again treated as a stranger to my Korean friends. Then, after finishing my middle school, I moved to a small island called Saipan. I went there by myself. I was really happy to go to a beautiful island. I thought that my life here would be like living in a heaven, but instead it was much like hell. When I first went to Saipan school, I got shocked because I was the only Korean student, and no one paid attention to an Asian girl. I remember crying and soaking my pillow with my tears every night. During this eportfolio project, I searched for some emails that I sent to my friends and my dad during that time. And surprisingly, I found a few emails. And here it is. First, it is email that I sent to my dad. I went to school and it is so hard. There's no Korean and I'm always alone. I eat alone. The next email is like this. It is so hard. Classmates are so mean. I want to lower my grade. And this is an email that I sent to my best friend. I am an outcast. I cry every day. I really hate this. I eat alone because there is no Korean. At the moment of loneliness, I met this book, Perfume. For other people, this book can be just exciting or weird story. But for me, who was going through a difficult and lonely time, the book was so precious for me. First of all, I felt sympathy toward Grenouille, who lived a very similar life as I did. Then, I found him enduring that lonely situation and walking towards his future. Like he searched for his dream and found the dream to make a perfect perfume, I also thought that I might find my dream. And I wanted to find my dream. Then I thought I should not give up, and I decided to put more effort to adapt myself into this environment. Even though Grenouille's journey wasn't that pleasant, he only concentrated on what he should do and what he wanted to do. I I believe that even if the road to dream is lonely and vague, with all the desires and fervent effort, anyone can achieve the goal. Do you think you are walking on a wrong road or a difficult road? If you live with faith and passion, your chance will come to you and will meet your dream. Like Granui, the road can be very gloomy and tough, but if you endure the loneliness and hardships like him, and do your best at all the time, you will achieve what you want in your life. Talent means nothing, while experience, acquired in humility and with hard work, means everything. Thank you for listening to my eportfolio.